Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new season of the Purposeful Live Show with your host, Adrian Starks. I'm excited to share some new updates of the show with you, starting with a new look, sound, and energy, as well as a variety of guests coming aboard with intriguing topics of conversation. I hope you enjoy the new level of energy that will be brought to the show. Thank you for all of your support since the very beginning in 2019. Wow, it's been 3 years already? Because of you, the Purposeful Life Show is now in the top 5% of all podcasts globally, and we aim to get it into the top 1%. Continue listening to the show and share it with others. You can also now listen to the show on my Facebook page at Adrian Starks, where you can comment in real time and communicate with me about your aha moments. Thank you again for all of your support, and let's make this one hell of a year and be purposeful about doing that. Wishing you all much love and success. Hi, my name is Adrian Starks, and welcome to the Purposeful Life Show on the Champion Up Podcast. This podcast is for the courageous creators wanting to create a life of meaning, adventure, and fulfillment, all while helping to make the world a better place. I'm happy you're here, and if you're new to our show, make sure to give us that 5-star rating and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. Also, connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Champion Up. It is always that one idea that could be your breakthrough. It's time to step into your courage and believe the champion in you. Welcome back to the Purposeful Live Show. I am your host. My name is Adrian Starks, and I'm excited to have you back for another amazing episode. Today, we're going to talk about being a courageous creator. Oh, yeah. I get a lot of people asking me now about this terminology that I have been using quite a bit with my Champion Up community and movement. Even now when I go into the store, if I'm wearing my Champion Up hoodie, people ask me, what is a courageous creator? People who read the blogs are asking me, can you elaborate more on what a courageous creator is? And I'm going to elaborate on that. Before I do, I want to talk about the word courage. Just like the word champion, courage has been used to identify certain types of acts. Little do we know that courage is being used on a daily basis, whether it's a small or a large act. Courage derives from the French term or the French word courage, and that means from the heart of the matter. So courage is something that starts from within with you, and it's a feeling you have that operates from that heart of yours. So part of courage is loving, part of courage is understanding, part of courage is listening, part of courage is being willing to be open and vulnerable. We'll get into that a little bit later, but just understand courage is not just this thing where you have to walk through a building and save someone or jump out and save someone, but it is something that is being used quite a bit as that only. And I want to just elaborate that courage is used daily. When you wake up in the morning, that's courage. Just to get out of the bed, that's courage. To talk to a friend that you need to talk to help them with something, that's courage. To walk outside, that's courage, because we know the world is quite interesting these days, right? But courage comes from all types of levels of living. So the word courage should be taken not as something that you can't do, but something that you're doing every day. So I call these creating small, courageous acts. Let's get into the matter about the word create. Create to me means to start something from an idea, but you just don't talk about that idea. You take that idea, you learn about what surrounds that idea, you take that information and you put that into something tangible, meaning you act on it. You make it visible. You make it something that you can see in your reality. That's creating something. So when we talk about courageously creating things, we talk about doing things that are uncommon. We talk about doing things that most people wouldn't do. We talk about doing things that are uncomfortable. That's what it means to be a courageous creator. I spent many years of my life complaining about my environments, complaining about people, complaining about not getting the big break. I didn't realize that all of that was just excuses for me to not courageously create the reality I wanted to experience. I get it. You may be somewhere where you don't want to be. You may be on a job that you don't like right now. You may live in an area that you want to move out from. You may be in a relationship you want to be out of. You may want to try a different school. You may want to try a different career. I get that. But here's the thing, my champions, my courageous creators. Nothing changes until you do. I talk about change quite a bit because change is the process of life. Everything is changing around you. Right now, your body is changing. Your mind is changing because you're listening to new information, and you'll never be the same after this podcast. Courageously creating a life means that you're taking the responsibility to decide what it is that you truly want to experience. You decide how to go about getting the resources so that you can truly experience what you want. And then you decide to become a better person, a greater person, so that you can experience that greater thing. That is what it means to be a courageous creator in your life. When I worked in the call center for 8 years, I was lost like most people. I was on a job, I was content, got paid good wages, had good benefits, but I always found myself complaining about the people around me. I got irritated with how many changes were going on in the hospital. And I realized that that wasn't the problem. The problem was my attitude toward those events and those people. The last 2 years of my career in the call center were actually the best 2 years of my life. Because in those last 2 years, I had discovered that in order for me to transition out of this environment, it wasn't just leaving and exiting like most people think. I saw a lot of people complaining about where they were. They would go to a different department, they would go somewhere else, and I would talk to them like 3 months later, and they were still complaining because it wasn't the environment, it was their attitude. I learned how to advance myself without being advanced by others. Listen to me here, courageous creators. A lot of us are waiting on people to give us the green light to tell us that we're good, we're okay, we can go here, or we can expand. No, you have to give yourself the green light. You have to simply become better where you are and to outgrow what you're currently doing. That's how you advance the situation. That's how you courageously create change in your life. There are so many people across the planet right now that are trying to change people, they're trying to change the world, they're trying to change circumstances, and little do they know, they have no control over those things directly. What changes things is our way of thinking, feeling, and doing toward those things. Some of you may have heard this before in seminars and workshops. You've read about them in books, but how often do we miss those things? That's why repetition is the key to learning. We courageously create change by changing our attitude toward things. If you want a better life, you got to become a better person. If you want a more fulfilling life, you have to understand what does fulfillment mean to you and start getting busy at gathering the tools to create that fulfillment. I also made the mistake years ago of thinking that what was my purpose? How many of you have probably had that happen where you're walking around trying to figure out what your purpose is and you're getting upset because you can't figure out the answer? Because there's no answer that way. Your purpose is what you decide it to be. It's what you decide to be. That's what your purpose is. It's what you're going to be purposeful towards. And when you decide that, what I'm going to do, like when I was in that call center, I decided I was going to be one of the most sought after speakers in the world. I was going to become a major voice. And it wasn't because of arrogance. It was because I really felt valuable enough to do that. And I started looking at ways of creating that. That's why I call it transition. You start wherever you are, turn it on, serve better, do things better. But in your mind, you're knowing that this is not the reality that's going to be here forever, that you're going to advance this reality. But you're courageously creating yourself along the way. You're doing the things you need to do to go to where you need to go, given the fact that you keep integrity in line. Stay worthy on your cause and your goal, and create changes that are necessary for you. In the words of Howard Thurman, he was the mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he said that there's a time where we all come in our life, we've got to sit ourselves down and have a personal self-confrontation. Oh boy, when I read this, I was like, that is right. But how often when I sat down and have that personal self-confrontation, I tried to ignore what was needed to be addressed, and that was changing the way I did things. Eleanor Roosevelt, she said that we must look fear straight in the face and do the thing that we think we cannot do. What do you think you cannot do right now? Everyone wants a better life. Everyone wants more money. People want better relationships. They want more time. They want more personal freedom. They want more energy. I hear this a lot, and that's great. It's great to have those wants. But here's the thing. What are you going to do about that? This is what I call courageously creating things in your life. You can want, you can say what you need, but what are you going to do? What are you intentionally setting your mind on daily to do to get to those things? The responsibility of your change in your life It falls back on what you're willing to courageously step out here and create. And here's the thing, it is not easy. No, it's not. Trust me. But it's so fulfilling if you understand that you're going to be uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. You're going to get frustrated. And that is the price that we all pay to grow. You can sit in a corner and live 100 years of your life and be safe, be comfortable, have no challenges. Life doesn't even touch you. You're just doing the same thing all the time. That's fine if you want to live that way. But if you want adventure, if you want fulfillment, if you want to have more meaning towards your life and have a sense of like accomplishment, I've done these things, then you got to step out and take more risk. And that is a person who does not sit in the corner waiting for things to change for them. They change themselves toward things. It does not happen overnight, but if you understand the process of change and how being a courageous creator requires for you to step into the action of change, because change is always happening, whether you like it or not, you can change your life one day at a time. It doesn't have to happen today all at once. Each day at a time, and to be patient with yourself doing that. That's what it means to be a courageous creator. Going against what people may say is uncommon. Going against what people may say is stupid, or it's not going to work, or you're going to fail at it, or why would you do that if you've got this going on for yourself? Going against the naysayers. Being in a crowd and you can still hear your own voice. Ralph Emerson said this, a great philosopher that I love reading. He said that we all have this iron string that vibrates within us, and it calls us day in and day out. This call for a lot of us is frustration and being upset and knowing that there's something that needs to change, but you don't know what. That thing is how you are addressing your environments. So how can you be a courageous creator in your life starting today? One step is understanding that you have the power to make your own damn decisions. You have the power to make your own damn decisions. Now, be mindful of your decisions, and how they may impact the people around you. I'm not saying to go out here and just make decisions and to not think about it before making them, but you have the right to make your own decisions. Just understand that. It's your choices that determine your changes and your results. It's your choices. So you have that ability to make decisions. Second, to be a courageous creator in your life, take more risk. I cannot tell you how many risks I've taken so far in my life of being here on this planet. And I've gotten my butt kicked. It has been painful. I've had some sleepless nights. I've had frustration. I have cried in my girlfriend's arms at times. And I'm telling this because I don't mind being vulnerable. That's part of being courageous. I'm not wearing any crown, and I certainly don't put any crown on anyone around me. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we're all trying to find our way into becoming better on this planet. That's my word. So take more risk. You don't have to put yourselves in harm's way, but take more risk. Remember that quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. You got to look fear right in the face, and you must do the thing you think you cannot do. Take the risk. Apply for that new position. Go do your research on that new business you've been wanting to open. Reach out to people for resources to see if they can help you. Go to that seminar. Go to that workshop. Listen to that extra podcast. Go read that book. Take the risk. Take it. The third one to be the courageous creator in your life is developing yourself daily. Developing yourself comes in 4 levels. One is mental, the other is emotional, is physical, and social. I talk about this. I call it the balanced approach to success. You can go to my website, championup.net, to find out more about that. Continue to follow me and to learn about what changes I'm continuing to make. That way it can encourage you to make changes. Because here's the thing about change. Many of us think that change is a bad thing. If I've got to change, that means there's something wrong. No, change is a good thing. It's how things get better and how things develop and how, more importantly, you can experience more on this time you've got here on this planet Earth. Now that you've learned how to be more of a courageous creator in your life, what better way than to feel that way? There is on our website of championup.net, you can go to the shop, and there are courageous creating apparel that you can wear to show the world that you are a courageous creator showing up out here and you're ready to make some changes in your life because you got one life to live. One life to live. And do not waste that life being afraid of change. Change is all that we have. Change is how you become better. I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes that I read every single morning when I wake up, and I read it before I go to bed at night, by a great writer and philosopher named Ayn Rand. You may know her from her 2 books, The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. Do not allow your fire to go out. Spark by irreplaceable spark. in the hopeless swamps of the not quite, the not yet, and the not at all. Do not let the hero in your soul perish in lonely frustration for the life you deserved and have never been able to reach. The world you desire can be won. It exists. It is real. It is possible. And most of all, it is yours. It is yours, my courageous creators across the planet. It is yours to create because you can make that change. Until then, I encourage you all to be that courageous creator in your life. This is the Purposeful Life Show and the Champion Up Podcast with myself, Adrian Starks, and thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed our podcast today, don't forget to give us that 5-star rating and subscribe to the show so you don't miss out on the powerful life-changing content on future episodes. Also, make sure to go to championup.net for even more life-changing content. Until then, I encourage you to be the courageous creator in your life.